Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the event safety and information video for the upcoming Three Bridges run this coming Sunday. My name's Mark. I'll be your race director for the day. I just wanted to take this opportunity to pass on some information for Sunday to make the day go that much smoother. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians upon whose land we will be meeting and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We have a full field of 1,000 runners signed up for Sunday and really looking forward to welcoming you all along to enjoy the Three Bridges run for 2022. A few things to go over. I'll try to keep it nice and short and sharp for you. The event program was sent to all registered runners last week. There's also a copy of it attached to the body of this email this video is attached to. So the event program has a lot of information about the event. Chances are if you've got a question, it's covered in the event program. So make sure you have a good read of that before Sunday. A couple of safety things I want to quickly go over to save time to do this on the day when you're all excited and ramped up, ready to run and not really paying attention. So firstly, road crossings. All right, there is a number of locations on the course where you will be crossing roads. These roads are not closed. They will have traffic going along them, okay? You will need to give way to traffic. None of them are very busy and the chances of a car coming along while you're crossing are low, but they are open. So whenever you get to a road crossing, pay attention, look both left and right like you normally would, and if you need to wait a couple of seconds to let a car pass, you need to do that. Okay, all the road crossings will also have marshals allocated to them to make sure that they're keeping an eye out for you as well. Follow the directions of the marshal. If you're in the heat of the moment, you don't pay much attention, you're charging along trying to set a PB. If the marshal jumps out and says, wait, there's a car coming, it's for a reason. Okay, so pay attention to those marshals. That's probably the most important safety thing for this course, is looking out for those road crossings. Also, the course that we're using is not closed. It's going to be open to the general public. If it's a nice day, and the forecast looks like it will be, there'll be plenty of other users out on the track. Walkers, riders, things like that, okay? They all provide a potential hazard for you guys and girls to pay attention to. Give them space where you can, stick left, run in single file, all those sort of things. But also give respect to those other users. They're out enjoying the track as much as you are, and they have as much right to be there as you do, okay? So you don't want to be screaming and yelling at them to get out of the way because you're in a race and they're not. They have as much right to be there as you. We'll work together, we'll all have a really good day, and we'll be back next year doing it all again. If you do come across any runner that is injured on course and requires attention, I ask that you stop and provide assistance to that runner. We're not professional athletes, we're all here to have a good time and try to set a good time, but we're also looking out for each other, okay? So if there's an injured runner on course, stop, provide any assistance that you can, grab the next runner that comes along, send them further along the course to the next marshal point or aid station, where the marshal or the aid station staff will be able to radio in, call in, and we'll be able to send out first aid or whatever needs to be done. If you do spend time looking after an injured runner on course, we are able to credit you time back for that. You'll come across a runner that's twisted an ankle and you stop and help them for 5 minutes while they get themselves sorted and going again. Happy to credit you that 5 minutes at the end of the event. So just come and see us at the time intent, at the conclusion of the event. Provide the number of the runner who you stopped and assisted, and we'll be able to then credit you that time. Registration for this event, you'll notice that none of you have your race bibs. All race bibs will be collected on race morning at registration, okay? There'll be some signs up indicating the runner numbers to line up to collect your race bib. What's your runner number? Also attached to this email is the runner list. That will show your runner number. So jot that down, come along the registration, line up in the appropriate line. We'll quickly give you your race bib. You'll be able to grab some safety pins as well if needed. Put that on and you'll be good to race. For the merchandise for the event, merchandise will also be available to collect at registration. So that'll be indicated on the registration list that the volunteers will be using there, so they'll be able to give you your t-shirt or whatever you ordered. If you don't pick it up beforehand, feel free to come and see us after the event and we'll be able to give it to you then. Start waves. You've got your race bib, you're ready to start. What we're going to do, especially for the half marathon and less so for the 9 kilometre course, we're going to be doing some start waves. Okay, so instead of trying to send everybody onto the course at once, which will just provide congestion and slow you all down, we'll be sending you off in waves of approximately 75 runners. So listen out to the MC announcements on the day. We'll form up. If you are a quicker runner, obviously try to get in that first wave. If you are a slower runner and not so keen on being involved in the rush at the start, wait for one of the start waves. Remember, your overall time is based on when you cross the mat, not the gun time. So you're not doing yourself any disservice by waiting for the second or third wave to start, as opposed to those first runners. It'll be when your timing chip beeps as you cross the start mat, that will then start your time, not when that first gun goes. Okay. Parking for the event. If you check in the event program, there's some areas marked about where parking is available on the Western Sydney Uni campus. All right, there's plenty of room in those locations, so please park in those areas. There is a $9 parking fee from the uni that each car will have to pay. That's not covered in your race registration. So I'd encourage you to carpool where possible to make that fee more palatable. So as I said, make sure you pay that $9 parking fee at the ticket machines in the parking areas. The course will be heavily marked on Saturday. There'll be a lot of red and white arrows, red on right, wrong way signs, obviously indicating which way to go and which way not to go, and pink tape to indicate you are on the right course along the entire course. All right. There will also be signs indicating if there's any split points on the course. So for the 5 kilometre, there'll be a sign when you reach your turnaround point and you come back to the uni. The 9 kilometre, there'll be signs to indicate where you need to do your second lap in Parramatta Park to be able to reach the full 9Ks. For the half marathon, there'll be signs indicating when you've completed the lap of the 3 bridges that you're the head back to the uni, and also when you go past the finish line, a few hundred metres to turn around to then come back again to make sure we get to the full half marathon distance. And for you marathon runners, you'll be completing 2 loops of the 3 bridges to the eastern end of the course. So look for the signage there after you do come back across Silverwater Bridge. You'll need to do that loop again. And then when you get to the far end at Parramatta Park, to the far western end of the course, you'll need to do 2 loops of the small loop at Parramatta Park to make sure we get you to your full 42.2 kilometre distance. So look out for those course markings. The course, as I said, will be heavily marked on the Saturday. There's also some pre-runner teams that will be out on Sunday morning checking the course. However, we are in the middle of Sydney. It is a big city, and other users could, through no malice on their part, just doing what they think is right, they could easily pull down things like pink tape and stuff like that before, in between when the pre-runners go through and when you runners arrive. All right. So I asked, especially if you're one of the front of the pack runners, check the Google Map links in the event program so that you're aware of where the course goes. Generally, you're sticking close to the water wherever possible, sticking close to the river. The one spot where you don't do that will be heavily marked and heavily marshalled, and that's on the half marathon and marathon course just after you go through Wentworth Point. Just after you pass the ferry terminal, you'll be heading south and then back up to the river rather than straight along the riverbank there. Apart from that, generally stick close to the water and you're going to be on the right track. All right, as I said, it'll be heavily marked and then checked and then rechecked again on Sunday morning, but there'll be plenty of marshals out at all junction points as well. However, it is a big city, so pay attention to where you're going. Keep an eye out for that pink tape, for those red and white arrows, those red and white wrong way signs. Lastly, there'll be plenty of volunteers out on course. As I just said, all those marshals that are all those junction points, they'll be wearing the red Max Adventure volunteer shirts. Without them, we wouldn't be able to put on the event. they've got up nice and early and got to the event, so you can all enjoy a terrific one. So make sure you thank them as you run past. All right, that's all for the moment. If there's any other updates, I'll be sure to let you all know. Otherwise, have a good read of the event program, and we'll see you all bright and early on Sunday. Thanks very much.